To welcome our next speaker, Dr Paul Dorfman, who's Senior Researcher at the Energy Institute at UCL. Welcome, Paul.
Hi there. Sure. A little bit of a key here. Load up this. Okay, so as discussed, this is the kind of mechanics of EPC, that basically the government has agreed a price which is twice the current price we currently pay for electricity for a 35-year contract period. So basically, what we're seeing here is a price, twice the price the government pays for electricity for a 35-year period, locked in. The government has agreed a locked-in price with EDF. And subsidies for heat points will be funded through levies on all consumer energy. UK consumer will be paying for nuclear. The Treasury, the UK Treasury, has offered a credit guarantee to underwrite the construction of heat policy of up to 10 billion pounds. Because as we know, all of the kind of the buildings that we've seen so far, Flamanville in Finland, in Flamanville in France, in Olkiluoto in Finland, are 3 times over the cost and 3 times over. So the kind of reactor they want to see built here, the EPR, is basically not a very good reactor. That's the key message. We're paying too much for it, much too much for it, and the UK wants to subsidise this. Now, what's happened is that just recently the EC has decided, or said, that it will agree that the UK will be allowed to subsidise EPC because of so-called modifications in the contract. The reality is that there haven't been any modifications. Why is this important? This is important because it sets a precedent. If it can happen in the UK, if an EPR, if EDF or EDF can build an EPR at Hinkley Point C and be allowed to subsidise it, this can have significant impact on what happens in the rest of Europe, Czechoslovakia, Poland, in other places that may wish to go nuclear, to carry on with their nuclear dreams. Now, Austria, I was in Vienna about a week before the Austrians made the announcement. Austria had submitted a clear legal challenge. And last week I spoke in Smith Square in Europe House with an Austrian minister, and we were talking with other MPs. And Austria, quite promptly and transparently, has signalled and declared that it will challenge the EC decision to allow the UK to subsidise nuclear. Am I going too quickly?
No, carry on.
Is that okay? Is that understandable?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in response, the UK has threatened Austria. The UK, and this is a leak, a UK leak, a UK secret foreign office official. The UK will take every opportunity to sue or damage Austria if Vienna does not drop a legal challenge. The UK will take every future opportunity to sue Austria in areas that harm or that have strong domestic political implications. Now, this is word for word a leak, which is now public property. Everybody knows about this. So the UK seems to be sending Austria an offer they can't refuse. Saying that the Austrian challenge will have negative effects on bilateral relations because there will be strength of feeling right up to the PM. So Cameron is clearly implicated in this threat. The Austrians say no. The Austrian Prime Minister Andrea Ruprecht says we won't let ourselves into it. No subsidies for nuclear power. So the Austrian ambassador in London says the UK has obviously started, including the use of the UK embassy in Vienna, with systematic preparation of countermeasures to damage Austria. threatened to sue or hurt Austria in areas that would have a strong domestic political impact. Well, this is just simply not right. The Austrians are really, really angry. The Austrians are really, really angry, and all of this is now public knowledge. This was in the papers about 2-3 weeks ago. Infuriated by this, the Austrians will not have that. The Austrians have launched a legal challenge. I'm also helping to facilitate a legal challenge by a set of German renewable energy companies and UK renewable energy companies who will also take the European Commission to court about their decision to allow subsidies for heat. And that will come out in the next month or so. Meanwhile, Areva, the French nuclear corporation, has just issued its 5th profit warning in 7 months, saying it expects to report a £4.9 billion loss for 2014. And that's largely due to the big nuclear overruns in Finland and in France. Basically, as discussed, shareholders' equity is actually close to zero. EDF, the other company that's hoping to build Hinkley Point C, is saying the Hinkley Point talks will actually take a considerable amount of time, essentially because Flamanville, the reactor they're trying to build in France, is also hugely overcosted, hugely overplanned. Their shares are down 4% as the market worries about that. And they're actually looking more and more to renewables. Now back to the case, what's happening? Why did the EC make this decision? Why have the EC kind of, on the surface, allowed the UK to subsidise nuclear? Well, maybe it's because the EC doesn't want to seem to be determining nuclear energy policy at a time when the UK is very sort of worried about Europe. And maybe they made that decision because Eurosceptic undercurrents in the coalition are on the rise. And EC maybe have allowed this decision, knowing that their decision has big flaws, and it will invite a challenge. It will invite a legal challenge. In fact, everybody's piling in. The Austrian government is piling in, we're piling in, the German renewable companies are piling in, everyone's piling in. And the key to this is market distortion. So the thing that strange nuclear will do for nuclear won't unfortunately be, in this case, the key issue that we're all concerned with, which are health effects. We know that health effects are the key and significant issue. What will do are questions of market distortion. It will distort the market. It costs too much to build. Nuclear power plants cost too much to build, and these the kind of financial arrangements around building nuclear, and I don't think I've got too much time to talk about it, are problematic. What it means is basically consumers, taxpayers have to put too much money into nuclear. Basically, nuclear is uneconomic. And of course, remember Fukushima. Remember also that nuclear sites, based on the coastline, according to the UK Institute of Mechanical Engineers, will be considerable investment to protect them against rising sea levels or even abandonment or relocation in the long term. Remember the UK's rag waste problem, vast rag waste problem. We don't even need to go into the details. You know about this. Basically, we have too much of the stuff. It's too dangerous. We can deal with it slowly, but we're going to have to deal with it over the next million years. Remember that nuclear is uninsurable. Incredibly, if there was a Fukushima in the UK now, we would be covered up to 134 million. That would be our total cover. That's all we're insured to. If the new European Commission decision goes through, we'll be insured up to 1.2 million. And we know that Fukushima is costing hundreds of billions. So if nuclear is not part of the solution, what is? Well, the Deutsche Bank produced a report a week ago saying that solar will become a dominant electricity source around the world as it beats conventional fuels, generating trillions in revenue over the next 15 years. Wind power worldwide has shot higher. And here are the details, but basically, if you're looking at wind power, you're looking at a graph like this. So the notion that wind and solar and the rest of it won't do it is simply not true. Germany, the strongest nation state in Europe, the strongest scientific and technological state in Europe, has said, that's it. Within 7 years, no more nuclear. And this is where it's at. So the next industrial revolution will be renewable. Germany's GDP going up, Germany's greenhouse gases going down. Here's coal in Germany, and you can see there's been a slight blip after Fukushima, but now coal is reducing. So this is about Germany burning more coal. It's simply not the case. Renewable energy, the energy vendor, is a democratic issue. It's a social issue. How would we feel about ourselves and the world that we knew when we turned our light on that we were not harming the planet? How would we feel about ourselves? How would we feel about our society? And how would we feel about how we power the world? So please Google Nuclear Consulting Group, where you'll see a kind of whole set of interesting people talking about this. And thank you very much.